They call me Dan, the Lakers DTLF. And I got a master plan for the Lakers back to the promised land. Spread the vision through my people, cause we fans are equal. When we reach 20K subs, yeah, we gon' drop a sequel. Another Laker anthem track, watch me run it back. Got the keys to the city where my Laker jet.
What up, family? It's your boy DTLF back with another video, guys. Finally, and I'm working off of my phone. I got the internet to work on my computer. It's been a very busy day for me, but it's also been a very busy day for the NBA, guys. And I'm finally here. I would have went live during the breaking news, but again, Spectrum has not come to install the internet. So hopefully this works. Doing a hotspot. Y'all let me know on your side if it looks good and everything. All right. Whew. Guys, what a very busy Wednesday we had. What's up, Solo? What up? Good to see you, Jonathan. What a very busy Wednesday we just had. Both figuratively and you know what I'm saying? Like, major trades that were completed today, February 4th, 2026. And we're not even at the trade deadline yet. That's tomorrow, which I got you guys covered here on the channel. Anthony Davis was traded to the Wizards today in an 8-player deal. We're going to get into all these trades. We're also going to talk about the latest from the Lakers rumors and what I think is going to happen, what should happen, etc., etc. Back home, Jose, but still no internet, man. Hopefully we get that fixed tomorrow morning. All right, so let's talk about the main trade that happened tonight first. All right, that's Anthony Davis to the Washington Wizards. Now, I've been on this channel saying that, you know, the Mavericks were better off trading AD and Kyrie and fully embracing the rebuild around Cooper Flag, right? Well, looks like they finally bought in. They traded Anthony Davis, Jaden Hardy, D'Angelo Russell, who seems to be just a package deal with AD, right? D'Lo and Dante Exum. And the Mavericks received Chris Middleton, AJ Johnson, Malik Branham, Marvin Bagley III, OKC's 2026 first-round pick, a 2030 first top 20 protected pick by Golden State, and Phoenix's 2026 second-round pick and Chicago's second-round pick in 2027, Houston's second-round pick in 2029. Okay, so, man, I looked at this trade and instantly said, the Mavericks finally conceded to losing the Luka trade. Finally conceded it. And, I mean, about time. Better late than never. They had to concede this thing because, first and foremost, they lost that trade the moment it happened. I told you guys the moment it went through, we won that trade. We got a generational talent for a guy who's injury prone. And sure enough, AD only ended up playing a grand total of 29 games for the Dallas Mavericks. So the winner, clearly the Lakers. The Lakers were so much a winner that the Mavericks don't want to trade with the Lakers anymore for the foreseeable future. That's insane. They lost so bad, they're sitting here pretending like we were bullying. Like we bullied them to this trade, all right? So basically, the Lakers were interested in Najee Marshall and Daniel Gafford, but the Mavericks closed the road to that, okay? They said, no more trades with the Lakers. These guys fleeced us, all right? And it's like, fool me once, right? So, again, the Lakers have limited options. I'm going to talk about what those could be later on in the show. But for now, again, Anthony Davis trade, clear win for the Lakers. Not just a win. This was a whoop. The Lakers whooped that deal. And they ended up with Max Christie and basically 2 first-round picks and 1 heavily protected one. Now, the Wizards in this deal right here, talking about the Wizards side, they're interesting because they have some interesting players over there. They just got Trae Young, who hasn't played yet, right? They got some young pieces, Bilal Coulibaly. You know, they got some nice young pieces, Alex Sarr. Now they got Anthony Davis. They're very interesting for sure. But they're not going to be interesting this year, which is kind of a little bit of a head scratcher. But AD might not suit up till after the All-Star game if he even suits up this season. So they should still be in full tank mode. But you know, the Wizards, they're interesting. They acquired 2 stars for a low price, for a very low price, right? They basically gave up a couple first-round picks to get AD, to get Trae Young. And, you know, and they're going to be interesting moving forward for sure. But the Mavs are the biggest losers. They ended up with Max Christie as their best starter, which I love Max Christie. But if a role player is your best player in a trade where you traded a mega star and you ended up with like 2.5 first-round picks out of that, or 3.5 first-round picks, you got fleeced, bro. You got fleeced. And so, again, it is what it is, man. He said, we didn't fleece the Mavericks. The Mavericks fleeced the Mavericks. That's facts. That's factual. But they're still mad at us for whatever reason, right? But again, if I had to grade the Wizards and Mavericks trade, I'm going to give the Mavericks an F plus. I'll give them the plus for at least getting off of that contract that doesn't fit their future and getting somewhat of some assets. Those picks kind of suck. Getting somewhat of some assets back for AD, but they traded Luka and they ended up with Max Christie and some mid first-round picks, okay? So biggest losers are the Mavericks. They get an F plus. For the Wizards, I'm gonna give them a B plus because again they get AD who's always injury prone. But if you know, it's a low risk, medium reward for them. And then they got Trae Young. Trae Young is a bucket getter. He's going to be interesting for sure. They already had Alex Sarr there, Coulibaly, and some young players that I really like in Washington. So they're trying to be interesting for sure. Solo says Washington would be wise not to give AD more than a 2-year extension. I agree with that. I agree with that for sure. Let's see. I'll read a couple comments. He said, at least they freed up a lot of money. Yeah, well, money's only good if you're a landing destination for sure. You know, money's only good if you're a landing destination. Now, talking about money, you know, this trade deadline has been about dumping a bunch of salary and going under the aprons and stuff. So that's very interesting to me that you mentioned the money because this new CBA is insane. I was talking to my good friend about it, and it's like this CBA is all about salary dumping and whatnot. So, yeah, can the Lakers get involved? We're going to talk about that in a little bit. For sure. We got a super chat. Let's get it.
Eternally grateful I am. You have contributed with this super chat to a great cause. You have brought balance to the force. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the super chat. Tony, he said, what up, Dan? Why is Rob so bad as a GM? You tell me, is that hard to trade for Daron Sharp, Z Williams, or Justin Champagny? Our bench is bad, and Rob has nothing but excuses every year, same shit. Let me tell you something. What I'm hearing is that the Lakers have been active. However, teams haven't been that interested in, some of those trades. These are the rumors I heard. Dante DiVincenzo, the Lakers recently checked in and expressed interest per Brett Siegel, right? The talks never advanced. Minnesota would only move him in a Giannis related deal. And even then, it's unclear if LA would be the landing spot, right? Daron Sharp, who you just mentioned, again, he's a younger center. He's a younger center for sure. But any deal would likely require draft compensation, and the Lakers are hesitant to give it up because they feel like if Giannis does not get traded at this deadline, they have a good shot at him in the summer. Mark Stein was reporting on that as well, by the way. We also missed on an opportunity. Lakers, we watched Ochai Agbaji, a cheap expiring buy low 3-and-D wing. He got sent to the Nets in a Chris Paul 3-way team deal, which I haven't talked about yet, but I will. We did nothing there. So those are missed opportunities. And you're right. Rob Pelinka does suck. He misses lots of opportunities. And yes, this is definitely live, G-Mac. Yes, sir. Hey, Dan, I like the AD trade for AD. He gets to play with Trae Young. I like the AD trade because Dallas was not in his timeline. Washington is more around that timeline, even though they're still young, right? He said, bro, nobody wants Gabe and Dalton. They are trash. It's not so. I agree with you, but expiring contracts have some sort of value. The problem is the Lakers don't want to bring in long-term salary because they want to keep their flexibility for the post-LeBron era. And we heard all kinds of reports, confirming what I have been thinking about for a long time now. LeBron and the Lakers are headed towards a divorce, and it's most likely going to happen this summer, right? You think they're not valuable? I think they are. It's just we don't want to take on any long-term salary. That's the difference, man. We had a chance to get RJ Hunter. We passed. Keon Ellis, we passed. There's still some other players there, but the Lakers might pass. My guy CJ said, I'm not surprised that no one's interested in our pieces, not appealing to other teams, to be honest, other than expiring deals. Well, if the Lakers whip on, let's just say Giannis gets dealt, right? Let's just say Giannis gets dealt. It's going to matter where he gets dealt. That's where I think the Lakers can come in as an opportunist. We can't trade for him now. We only have one first-round pick that's tradable. But in the summer, We get 3 in total due to the CBA, right? So 3 tradable first-round picks become available, plus Reeves. Now you're cooking for Giannis. That seems more of a formidable trade package for Giannis Antetokounmpo, okay? Especially if you could attach some other contracts there. Now, here's what's interesting. Brian Windhorst reporting that the Lakers and Draymond Green have mutual interest in the future partnership, right? Whether it be now, if the Warriors traded for Giannis Antetokounmpo, or in the summer entering into expiring contract, Los Angeles plans to express interest in acquiring Draymond. Draymond, 35-year-old. We're getting older instead of younger, right? That seems like a Rob Pelinka move. Now, the Warriors actually trying hard. They're pushing hard to trade for Giannis right as we speak, according to multiple reports. The Bucks, they're willing to accept Green in the package. That's what I've been hearing. Now, Green is refusing to report to play for Milwaukee. Then, well, what happens is the Lakers would try to acquire him via a reroute or a buyout, okay? Not a direct Lakers-Warriors swap. So, again, Draymond Green himself has addressed the rumors after Tuesday's game, saying that he's at peace with whatever happens. And also, we're told that the Warriors are wanting to do what's best for the franchise. Like, he knows that, right? The bottom line is, right, that the Lakers are not pursuing him in a straight deal. However, again, the Lakers would be interested in a Warriors, 3-way deal or 4-way deal where we can swoop in and get a player. Keep an eye on Giannis, because if Giannis does not, and this is what I think Rob Pelinka is doing, and I know people are going to be upset about it, and rightfully so. We want now improvement. But if Robbie P is not able to land Giannis and during the summer because he gets traded now, I think Robbie P will try to then pivot and use a draft pick or two, or then pivot, and use maybe a second-round pick or the first-round pick and try to land a piece, right? It could be Draymond, it could be somebody else. It could be DiVincenzo, not for the first-round pick, but for expiring deal, if they need to reroute some of that money elsewhere. So I'm just giving you guys the playbook. It sounds like the Lakers are going to stand pat at the deadline unless they can get in on an opportunistic deal last minute. That's what it's sounding like to me. So, yeah, to answer your question, man, the Lakers are looking to the future as of right now, but don't be surprised if something like that happens. I would not be surprised, right? He said, we are not going to do the Warriors a solid in picking up Donkey Green. He needs to retire. Well, here's the thing. The Lakers wouldn't consider doing the Warriors a solid because if you don't get involved, somebody else will. But if you can get a piece like that for maybe like a first-round pick or something, or a bunch of expiring deals, then maybe they'd consider it, right? I'm just saying, listen, Windhorst reported on this, that there's mutual interest between the Lakers and Draymond. Everybody knows LeBron and Draymond would love to play together. They're good friends. Everybody knows this, right? So maybe this ends up being a big splash. Maybe it doesn't. But also, keep an eye out on other teams. For example, if Giannis goes to the Timberwolves, there's going to be pieces there that the Lakers might want to be interested in. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe Naz Reid, maybe Julius, maybe, God, I doubt it, but maybe Jaden McDaniels. So again, if teams want more first-round picks, the Lakers have a first-round pick that they can attach in a 3-way deal and get a piece that we want back to be better now. They can do that. Remember, this isn't a very heavy free agency, right? This isn't a heavy free agency coming up, so maybe their move happens now. We don't know, right? But I'm letting you guys know what is being heard around the league as far as, what's going on. Now, the likelihood of a trade, right? Rival teams see the Lakers as active, but sources describe them as mostly pushed to the margins, okay? Due to limited assets, basically one tradable first-round pick, 1 second, plus low-value expiring contracts, right? So they're reluctant to take on any future salary that would hurt the 2026 cap space, unless, like I said, they can get in on an opportunistic deal. Now, this is what I don't like about the Lakers, right? The internal view, according to the roster, is that they're built for the playoffs, not the regular season. And they're going off the fact that they just went 5-3 on the Grammy road trip and are near full health after beating the Nets, and believe to have top tier end talent like Luka, LeBron, and Austin. And they believe it gives them, an edge in the Western Conference. So I don't agree. I still think we need to make trades in order to get to the finals or get out of the West for sure. I think a couple of trades. I've been on the records to say we can get Alvarado for like an expiring contract or a second round pick and an expiring contract, I do that. If we can get rid of Gabe in the process, that's a major win. If we could have got a player like Dayron Sharp, who you guys already mentioned, or Michael Porter Jr., those would have been probably high-end trades, better case scenarios. But right now, it's looking like the Lakers are dead in the water unless we're opportunistic on a three-way deal and we get involved. So all eyes are on Giannis because as many trades have happened, and I haven't even covered them all yet, all eyes are on Giannis. I feel like that's still the biggest shoe to drop. Keep an eye out on John Morant. Apparently, the Miami Heat were interested in both Ja and Giannis. I doubt they get both. Right? So again, things are starting to churn little by little, but this has already been a very active trade deadline. A lot of people believe the CBA would prevent a lot of trades from happening. That's not the case. If anything, more teams are sellers, which is something that I predicted a while back, that there would be more sellers than buyers, right? I agree with that, CJ, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because again, there's still time, and I got you guys covered at the deadline. All right. Let's cover the next trade that happened today that I didn't get to. Again, my internet was out all day. Just moved back into my apartment, guys. My apologies. But I promise to be more on time tomorrow with the blockbuster trades if they do happen tomorrow, all right, or tonight. Jared McCain to the Oklahoma City Thunder from Philadelphia. That was a very underrated trade, right? The Thunder received Jared McCain, a.k.a. Nail Polish. The Sixers received Houston's 2026 first-round pick and 3 seconds, all right? The Thunder are getting younger, plus cheaper while staying under the luxury tax. This was a very good trade for the Thunder. The rich get richer. It's one of those cases. They got a young stud who wasn't he the rookie of the year last year, or was he in the running? I forgot. But that's what they got. Now, he hasn't been playing the same because the Sixers are guard heavy and they got some new young guys that are shining. So they felt like they could dangle him. But, the Thunder were opportunistic and they didn't give up much for him. So, yeah. That was a very good trade for them. I give the Thunder, I'm going to give them a B+, okay, on that trade. And I think this is a trade that works both ways. The 76ers get a first-round pick out of it, and they weren't really playing Jared McCain much. How do I know? I picked them up on my prize picks one day, and dude wasn't even halfway to the goal. So, how you guys feel about that? I think that's a very good trade for the Thunder and also opportunistic trade for the Sixers. Let's see. What would Champagny cost? Come on. We don't know. But again, the Lakers don't want to take on any long-term salary. And if he's on an expiring deal, then maybe that's the type of deal that happens. Currently, right now, the Knicks and the Nuggets are in overtime. Hopefully, the Knicks can pull that off. 1 minute to go. Knicks currently up 119 to 117. So go Knicks for tonight. We need that. The Raptors currently down 1 to the Timberwolves. So go Raptors. We need that. And then the Rockets. I'll never root for the Celtics, but the Rockets are currently down by 21 to the Celtics. That's really good for us because the Rockets are in the way. All these teams hoping that they lose tonight definitely helps us in the standings. But again, it's getting really interesting in the trade deadline, guys. Let's see. This is why we are staying mediocre for years. We keep on relying on picking up buyout guys. There's a reason why teams buy them out or waive them, though some are still solid. I feel you, Prince, but sometimes we don't have a lot of flexibility. Once LeBron, if he does decide to walk, then we'll see what we do with the little bit of flexibility we have then. But the Lakers are really banking on the 2026 offseason for whatever reason. They feel like, that is when they're going to make their splash, Now, how do you guys feel about a potential Draymond Green addition? How do you guys feel about that? Would you guys like it, hate it? I'm very confused by it because I think we should get younger, not older. This dude, he's a system player, man. I don't think he'll still be a very good, scrappy player if the Lakers acquire him, but he's a system player, y'all. But anyways, Sam Amick is reporting that LA has set his eyes on landing Giannis in the summertime. So if that does happen, it'll definitely be worth the wait. What do you guys think? Swervo says, Dan, I like Sadiq Bey for us. Sadiq Bey is nice. I've been a fan of his for a while since he was on the Pistons. Yes, a 3-and-D wing like that would be nice. Obviously, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, all those guys, but look to the buyout market as well. The buyout market gets interesting. Chris Paul just got traded. Maybe he gets bought out. And we're going to talk about that trade. Matter of fact, let me pull that one up right now. Chris Paul to the Toronto Raptors on a 3-team deal with the Clippers and the Nets, where the Raptors receive Chris Paul. The Nets receive Ochai Agbaji, all right, and a 2032 second-round pick plus cash, and the Clippers receive draft rights to Vanja Marikovic, Okay, now CP3 finally out of the away from the Clippers after that messy divorce. Good for him. So that's going to be interesting. I thought the Nets receiving Ochai Agbaji, I think that would have been a good pickup for the Lakers right there. Those are the type of expiring deals, type of pieces that the Lakers could have kind of capitalized off of for sure. The Lakers must know they're getting Giannis if they're willing to punt the season. Well, you know what? I think there's a multitude of things here, sis. That's a great comment. I think there's a multitude of things. For one, the Lakers no longer want to cater to LeBron. LeBron would love for the Lakers to make a trade for the now and screw the future salaries. He's only going to be here probably for the rest of the year. Anyways, the Lakers are saying, no, we're building around Luka now. This is like the ultimate, I think, message to LeBron and his camp. Like, hey, man, we're done with you guys. Feel free to walk on free agency. That's what I think is happening here. Especially if the Lakers do nothing. But to me, in the process, what you risk is now giving a big middle finger to Luka as well. Because Luka wants to compete now as well. So I don't think we should be punting any season. And also, this could also have to do with the players and their sentiment. Maybe Luka, maybe Austin, maybe a couple of players feel like this team is good enough to compete. So what that does is it takes pressure off the front office to make Luka and the fans happy now, especially if they feel like they can hit the grand slam and go get Giannis, I mean, there isn't a move that's getting us to the finals right now. Draymond would just be a placeholder at this point. You might be right. And then Draymond could still be a possibility in the offseason, if he opts out, if he gets traded and opts out. Some people have also speculated that Draymond would then retire if he gets traded away from Golden State and he doesn't go to a team that he wants, like the Lakers, right? Craziness says, how are we going to trade for Giannis if we have to no contracts to trade? And who do we have besides Austin? Well, there would have to be signing trades involved. I mean, that's the GM's problem, right? That's the GM's problem for sure. Maybe they sign and trade Rui to match whatever Giannis' contract is with Austin. Maybe they pay Austin big money and then they include the 3 first-round picks, or they grab one of the picks and they flip it for another piece that goes to Milwaukee that Milwaukee might be interested in. Like, there's so many scenarios that they can use to try to acquire Giannis. Doesn't mean we're guaranteed him because there's going to be so many competitors for him in the offseason. So many people would draft picks to trade for him. But if Giannis does want to come here, then there's a high chance it happens. He said, bruh, Giannis is a pipe dream. Let's get realistic. So was Luka, man. I mentioned Luka as a possibility years ago, and here he is. So I'm never going to give up on that. However, I do believe the Lakers should find ways to compete now and then still pursue Giannis in the future. That would be the best of both worlds, in my opinion. And like I said, they missed a golden opportunity to get somebody like Agbaji, 3-and-D wing. Also, another trade that happened today, Lonzo Ball to the Utah Jazz on a 3-team deal with the Cavs and the Hawks, where the Jazz received Lonzo plus cash. All right, so there goes Lonzo again moving. And the Jazz, man, nobody wants to play there, bro. Full of racism, and it's horrible. All right, always players being called names and whatnot. I feel bad for Lonzo. I felt bad for Ace Bailey in the summer when he got drafted there and didn't want to go there. And I feel bad for anybody that doesn't look like Larry Markin, okay? Because let's be honest, a lot of those fans, not all of them, but a lot of them are very racist and they're trash. And the moment you start playing bad, they're going to start hurling slurs your way. So I feel bad for Lonzo. I would have preferred Lonzo went with the Charlotte Hornets and played with his brother LaMelo. That would have been fun to watch, But Lonzo Ball, very injury prone. Jazz received cash, He is also expected to be waived, so that could be good. If he is waived, then I'll feel a lot better for Lonzo. I could definitely see him going to Charlotte to play with his bro. And then the Cavs received 2 second-round picks. So again, the Cavs are clearing salary after the Harden deal, which tells me, and I'm gonna get to my next topic of conversation. It tells me that they're gonna go for LeBron James this summer. And in their view, they're probably thinking of pairing. They're probably thinking of pairing LeBron with James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. They might even trade Jared Allen to make that happen. And they're going to pair those guys up with Mobley. That would be a very dangerous team, even as old as they are, right? We just have a breaking news trade right now. The Orlando Magic are trading Tyus Jones to the Charlotte Hornets for cash consideration. So that just happened right now while we're in the live stream. Shams Charania first to report. So that just happened. Tyus Jones just got traded right now. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, guys. You heard it here first. All right. So that is very interesting for sure. Hey, man, it's been a very active trade deadline. Very active trade deadline. Let's see if we get another one while we're on the live. Hit that like button real quick, guys. I will stay on longer. And if we get to 300 likes, I open up the phone lines. You guys have any trade questions, concerning the Lakers or anything like that, I will answer all your questions myself. So make sure, again, you guys are subscribed, hit that post noti bell. Tomorrow, trade deadline special with me and my co-host Lou. You guys are going to want to be here during the trade deadline. All right, this is the place to be. All right, and the other trade that happened as well earlier today was a 3-team deal with the Bulls, Hornets, and Thunder, where Colin Sexton and multiple seconds with Jiang went to the Bulls. All right, the Hornets received Mike Conley, Kobe White, and the 2029 second-round pick. So Kobe White ends up in Charlotte. And then the Thunder received Mason Plumlee. So, again, Chicago just keeps reloading with guards, man. Charlotte's getting younger. OKC dumping salary. Okay, those have been the trades that have happened today, and hopefully we get more. Hopefully we get more deals, because this has been a very active trade deadline. Think about this. When was the last time so many stars moved? And I don't consider Jaren Jackson a star, but he's a starter caliber player, a little bit overrated if I do add myself. Some people might consider him a star. But, that's probably the lower end starter that got traded. But then, Trae Young got traded earlier last month. And then we get Anthony Davis traded today. We might get Giannis, we might get Giannis traded. I don't know. Laker fans, do you guys want to see a Giannis trade just to kind of put that mystery away? Or would you guys rather be in the sweepstakes and Giannis not get traded, held out till the summer, and then the Lakers get involved? Like, what do you guys think is better? I know a lot of Laker fans just want him to get traded to the East somewhere, Miami, New York, somewhere. And that way we can have more clarity on what the Lakers could pursue. Because if Giannis does get traded, then the Lakers, I think, would then pivot and try to either improve in the trade deadline or focus on a different target in the summer. How you guys feeling? Prince, I don't know what's going on with the Bulls, man. They're full of bullshit. They're getting all these guards for no reason. I don't know if they're planning on flipping them or just running a 5-guard lineup. Devontae says Rob ain't doing nothing. You could be right. You could be right. Right now he's posturing up as if he's trying to save all of his expiring contracts, draft picks, and just cap space for the summer, for sure. And if that happens and he lands nothing in the summer, we're all coming out with the pitchforks. And that is an absolute fact, right? The likelihood of the Lakers making a trade right now, due to the fact that they do not want to accumulate any future salary, is low, is slim. Like I said, they kicked the tires on Dante DiVincenzo, Daron Sharp, and some players like that, but they really haven't been. There's no conversation where the Lakers have been, actively engaged in a trade. Usually, once you hear the Lakers are engaging with this team or that team, that's when the trade is getting close. But right now, we're kind of just we're kind of all just observing to see if we do anything at all, right? Regardless, we're enjoying the trade deadline, guys. A lot of moving pieces right here, as we just announced another trade here on the live stream. Let's see here. My guy CJ says, I want Giannis to get traded to somewhere in the East so we can pivot. Fair enough. And again, that's the impatient Laker fan in us. We just got Luka last year, and we already want to pivot somewhere else. So I understand. And trust me, guys, I've been just as impatient. I've been just as impatient as you guys are. But I think, over the years as a Laker fan, I've learned to be just a little bit more patient, simply because if there's any shot at Giannis, you have to take that shot at Giannis. Now, if there's no shot at Giannis, like you said, I do believe the Lakers pivot immediately. We might even get a trade. Let's just say Giannis gets traded to the Warriors or the Bucks or the Timberwolves. I'm sorry, not the Bucks. Warriors, Timberwolves, or the Heat or some team like that. Then I think you might see the Lakers do something to try to improve at the deadline. But if nothing comes of it, I think the Lakers will sit, and I think they'll look to the buyout market. To see what's going on there. Still, I would be extremely disappointed if we sit on the expiring contract of Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, and all these guys and turn it into nothing. Like, I would be disappointed unless we get Giannis. That's the only thing that would make it better for me in the offseason. But, man, my guy said, I already got the pitchfork out. He said, I think we end up with Andrew Wiggins somehow. Sources tell me. Wiggins? From what I'm hearing, Wiggins, the asking price has been high, man. I don't know what Pat Riley be smoking on, man. He be on the mushrooms, because this guy wants 2 first-round picks for Wiggins, okay? In a league where 2 first-round picks can land you AD. Okay, Wiggins is a role player, a starter caliber role player, but come on. 2 first-round picks for a role player is crazy, especially now that we kind of see what first-round picks can land you. It can land you Jaren Jackson, it can land you AD, it can land you 1 first-round pick, can land you Trae Young. And trust me, I believe had the Lakers not landed Luka, we would have landed Trae Young from the Hawks. I believe it. In my heart of hearts, I believe it. So, I think first round picks can land you a lot nowadays. And this is why the Lakers feel they have a shot because they have a young star who should have been an all-star in Austin Reeves. Who maybe he still will because I just heard that Shea's going to miss the all-star game with an injury. So maybe he'll be called up as a reserve. I don't know. But then again, I think Shea was an international star, right? So he was going to play on the other side. I don't know. Bottom line is the Lakers are going to have some firepower in the offseason, believe it or not. Is Rob going to be a part of that offseason or not? That's up on Mark Walter. Maybe Mark Walter decides to clean house. Maybe he's not happy with whatever the outcome is the rest of the way this season due to the lack of activity in the trade deadline or whatever. But, again, this is all so damn interesting, guys. It is insanely interesting. And a lot of sources reporting that the Lakers might go ahead and sit on their hands. All right. Now, other pieces to look for, and I don't know because from what I'm hearing, John Morant is bringing little to no trade value. Okay. Apparently, the Grizzlies want at least one first-round pick, if not two, for him, and they're not even able to get that. So this man has pretty much ruined his NBA value due to his immaturity and his injuries or whatnot. And I'll say, man, I never thought I'd see the day where Ja would hit the trade market and minimal teams would be interested. It is an insane day. And the new CBA has really impacted a lot of these players' values, but their lack of maturity has as well. Ja Morant, bro. Ja Morant has really fallen off his fall from grace has to be studied. We were talking about, at one point, a lot of people, not myself, but a lot of people were saying he could be the face of the league. Okay? That is laughable. Even saying it out loud is hilarious, right? Looks like we got bad news for the Nuggets. Peyton Watson is heading straight to the locker room and grabbing his right hamstring with a severe limp. Oof. Injury bug starting to bite them. All right, the West is going to shift. So what I'm hearing right now, that after being released by the Jazz, all signs are pointing to Lonzo Ball joining his brother in Charlotte. Could we have a Ball brother reunion? Could they add then LiAngelo Ball? Does LaMelo have, I don't think he does, but does he have the star power to request all three brothers over there? That would be very entertaining. Can you imagine? But yeah, Lonzo looks like he's headed to Charlotte, guys. Just to give you guys a quick little update real quick as we get another notification here. Let's see if it's anything of worth or of note. Again, stuff is getting interesting, guys. I'm going to be glued to my phone just in case I have to go live again. Okay. Yeah, nothing of note. Nothing of note. All right. Let's see. Comments, questions, concerns. I'll read a couple of them. Let's see. My guy says, I think Ja goes to the Heat. Well, I mean, Miami's interesting because on the court, they're very disciplined. Practices are disciplined. Pat Riley doesn't play that. Neither does Spo. But off the court, man, Miami, bro. He's going to be walking around half naked over there. I'm not sure if that's the type of culture you want to put Ja Morant in. Just saying. Miami's a wonderful city for those that are mature, all right, and can handle themselves. Otherwise, he's going to end up impregnated everyone without a 1 block radius like Zion Williamson does, okay, over there in Miami. So we got to watch out for Miami, man. You can't send immature players to Miami, in my opinion, because even though Spoelstra and Pat Riley do their best part, they can't babysit him 24/7. The Rockets are losing to the Celtics. That is semi-good news, Devon. It's never good. We don't ever root for Boston, but just the Rockets losing, it's good enough news, right? Just them losing. Unfortunately, let's see. They're in double overtime, the Knicks and the Nuggets. So that's happening right now. Knicks up 125-121. Timberwolves unfortunately beat the Raptors at the end, 128-126. But the Rockets are getting the brakes beat off of them. They're going to lose. So if we can get the Nuggets and the Rockets to lose tonight, that is good news. That is good news. Also, I think we kind of need the Thunder to beat the Spurs. Spurs are up right now. They kind of own the Thunder. So come on. Hey, Thunder, put your big boy pants on and get to work. Are you watching the refs cheating for the Nuggets? They always do, Benaya, especially for that guy, Jokic. This guy gets away with all the hooks, man. It baffles me, Benaya, how the league calls it for Jokic. They just do. By the way, I want to give a quick shout out to Kobe Buffkin. He's been going nuts lately in the South Bay Lakers. And honestly, I would take Gabe Vincent's minutes and give them all to Kobe Buffkin, give him a contract. I think the kid has a bright future. He just dropped 41 points on 8 3-pointers made with 8 assists. Okay. He had 7 3-pointers the previous game. So this dude is completely balling out. Yeah, Jello is a rapper now, huh? I forget, man. I'll listen to his music. I forgot Jello was a rapper. So you're right. I give up on the big baller brand brother, pipe dream that LeVar Ball had. But it would have been entertaining, you gotta admit. Let's see. LeVar getting his wish. He said DeMar buyout candidate. Yeah, DeMar would be a buyout candidate, but I gotta ask you guys, who fits better? DeMar, I think DeMar off the bench would be very lethal for us, even though, man, I feel like this dude spurned us already. He spurned us when he had a chance to come here, and he ended up picking Sacramento over us. So I don't know how I feel about giving this man another opportunity, but for the right price, or on the cheap, I wouldn't mind, I guess. Mike Conley is going to be another buyout candidate, and let's see who else gets traded that becomes a buyout candidate, bro. Thanks so much for super chat, brother. Appreciate you. But again, this has been a very active trade deadline so far, and let's see what happens from now until tomorrow, guys. I want you guys to keep your eyes peeled open, all right? Tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, all right? I'm going to be here at 12 Pacific to cover the trade deadline, so make sure you guys turn on the post noti bells here and subscribe if you already haven't. Really quick, this video is brought to you and sponsored by Price Picks, all right? Promo code DTLF gets you guys 50 and play credit with your first $5 deposit and play. So make sure you guys tap in there. Just wanted to recap these trades that happened today because I didn't get to break any with you guys, and hopefully I get my internet fixed by tomorrow. But you know what? The hotspot is working pretty good. What do you guys think? No lag on your end? Everything good? It should be good for tomorrow. We should be good regardless. Shout out to my girl who suggested. I completely forgot I had hotspot on my phone and I could shoot it to my computer. But yeah, I have no internet in my household right now, and I'm just I keep my phone charged since I usually have my computer on during the trade deadline, and I keep my phone charged just in case I get an important phone call, and also just in case anything breaks. So I'll keep my ear close to the ground, and let's hope for something for the Lakers, man. My prediction is if the Lakers do make a trade, it'll be a minor trade. I don't see anything major. Like I said, barring any sort of blockbuster Giannis trade where we get involved and we become a recipient of a bigger piece. So outside of that, I think the Lakers are going to stand pat, which I'm not a fan of, unless they get a decent player in the buyout market. But still, Gabe Vincent, if I got to put up with him for another 30-plus games and playoffs, we're going to be stressing the heck out for sure. All right, guys, I'm going to end this video pretty quick. I want to save some of my hotspot just in case anything breaks. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please hit that like button. It continues to help the channel grow. We're growing. Make sure you guys follow me on socials and all that, and tap in with Underdog and Prize Picks. You guys know the promo code. Thank you, Kimmy Co. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. I will see you guys hopefully later tonight. We get another trade. If not, tomorrow for sure for the trade deadline special, okay? Stay tuned. Oh, before I leave, yes. Yo, D Prince, thank you for reminding me. I don't understand what happened here, but yes, Jackson Hayes is suspended for tomorrow night's game due to him pushing a mascot and the mascot almost getting hurt. Jackson Hayes needs to keep his hands to himself. We've been down this road before. He's finally starting to get on somewhat of my good graces with his good play lately. He needs to keep his hands to himself. That's the last thing I'll say about that. Not sure why he's doing this or what the hell is going on, man. The only thing we want him punching on is the rim. Okay, Jackson? So if you're watching this, keep your hands to yourself, young man. You're a beast this season, at least. But let's see what you can do in the postseason, man. Otherwise, the violence jokes come back, all right, to haunt you, especially after what you did to the poor Wizards mascot. All right, chat. Again, that wraps it up for me. Thank you guys so much. Hope to see you guys later tonight. If not tomorrow, for sure, I got you covered for everything NBA, Lakers, and so much more. Keep it locked right here, guys. You heard it here first. The boy DTLF signing out. Peace.